What is going on, everybody? This is episode 447 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my co-host. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Yes, the special guest for today is once again my bubbly. We're here. We're queer.
Wait, is that the caffeinated seltzer?
It has 35 milligrams of caffeine, which is not anything at all. But
guys, in the chat, how much does the average can of Monster have as far as caffeine goes? I couldn't see on the label. I didn't see.
It's supposed to be right there.
I'm sure it's a fair
it's
amount.
in the hundreds.
But yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot these days. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk has a new biography out, and his family has likened Amber Heard to the Joker, which is, I love it. I love that idea. I love the idea of her trying to blow up Gotham. It's a fantastic image in my head. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fact that House and Habit, who is not a citizen journalist, but a journalist of sorts that covers all pop culture, a lot of gossip, stuff like that, has been banned on Instagram for daring to question Chrissy Bixley, the accuser who was not
Chrissy Bixler.
Bixler.
You know, the name Chrissy Bixler, it's like nominal determinism. She doesn't sound like someone you should trust. Chrissy Bixler? Yeah. She sounds like a Karen.
Yeah, so she has set an organized mob, it seems, after House and Habit and gotten her banned off Instagram, which is not cool. We're going to be discussing that. We're going to be talking about free speech is related to that. We're also going to be talking about Chris Evans, who just got married, and now people are calling into question the age gap between him and his beautiful wife, Alba Batiste. Right?
Baptista. Baptist with an A at the end.
Baptista.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
She's Portuguese.
She's 26. He's 42.
Oh, the humanity.
Yes, it's she's a 26-year-old teenager, they say. So we're going to talk about that. The age gap discussion comes up anytime one of these celebrities gets into a relationship and these things happen. So we'll talk about it. We're also going to talk about Sika Moon. If you don't know who that is, she is a model who has now starting to make $20,000 a month by selling AI photos of herself. You know, it's good work if you can get it. If you don't even have to sell pictures of your actual self, just sell artificially made pictures of yourself. It'll be great.
Yeah, that's her entire Instagram now, and it makes sense because it costs you more money and time to have a real social media profile.
Andrina says, I'd be more heartbroken if Chris Evans wasn't a libtard. Well, you know, you can't win them all. Sometimes
the MCU darling lib shit, which is why possibly there's less public outrage about this than other age gap relationships in Hollywood.
Yep. So we'll get into that. We got a bunch of other stuff. So Mary, if you're ready, we will get right into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. First things first, I want to play a clip. This is the full version of the Mads Mikkelsen interview from yesterday, in which I said, look, I think there was more context here in which they were talking about the Academy, and there is in fact was. So whoever posted the edited version.
It was engagement farming to make people like us mad, saying, it's a woke leftist reporter.
And I didn't do I said when we were watching, I said, I think there was more context to this, but I should have done my due diligence and checked beforehand. Oh, also, guys, before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already for that? Remember, all Super Chats, $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read them right then and there on air, and then we will get back on topic. So now, let's go ahead and get right into it. So here is the full context of the interview, in which case you see that the journalist isn't being woke, as much as I hate that word. Here we go.
Hello, I'm from Denmark, and it's a pleasure to be here. So you're a little bit into it. This is a cast and a Danish production, which is entirely Nordic. It therefore has some lack of diversity, you would say, as also new rules are implied in Hollywood.
What are you on to?
Sorry, but
from the get-go.
From the get-go, there is set some rules of diversity across the Atlantic for competing in the best picture, the equivalent to this competition. As I see it, you don't live up to these standards with this broadcast, and there is just curious, it's not because of artistic reasons, it's because of lack of diversity that this can't compete in that competition. Are you worried about that?
Are you? I'm serious and honest because you're putting us on the spot.
He's being such an asshole for no reason.
Don't let me preface. I love Mads Mikkelsen. He's a fantastic actor, but it's not this guy's job to worry about it. It's your job.
That's
to
why
worry
he's
about.
asking you the question, asshole.
And he's being unbelievably fair.
He heard the word diversity and turned his brain off because this guy's question, as this commenter said, it isn't attacking the film based on its lack of diversity. It's making an attack at the Academy, pointing out the example of Parasite, which we're going to listen to next.
Okay, so here we go.
Sure, no, because I have, in comparison, Parasite, which is a great movie.
What do you think?
I was thinking that Parasite, which is a great movie, coming from South Korea, had the same level of diversity. But coming from South Korea, this was actually still eligible for the competition. You, as a Danish movie with an all-Nordic cast, is not, and that's what I think is a little bit conundrum.
He's being fair to him. He's actually pointing out that it's stupid.
Mads is literally just stopped listening to the guy, as did most of the people that viewed this video, who were just, they want it to be the funny clip where Mads owns stupid SJW
Take
journalists.
That, lib. All right, here we go.
Okay. Well, first of all, the film takes place in Denmark in the 1750s.
Yeah.
We do have a big plot line, about a girl of color who is being subjected to racism, and and which was very rare. Any people of color in Denmark in terms of almost nobody. She was probably at the time the only one in the entire country of Denmark. So it was. I would say that it hasn't been. It wasn't a thought in our mind that I think it would be a little weird, if it's just a historical how it was in the 17th.
The director was being more polite in his response, but still did not grasp what the guy was getting at.
I will
Part
say
of
the
that
guy
is
didn't.
probably,
the guy didn't phrase it very well.
I understand that, but it's because obviously this is not English is not his first language, so he did not pronounce or phrase it the proper way. But someone called it a trap question in the chat. It's really not a trap question. It is a question that I would probably ask given the chance because I'm a shit stirrer. But I mean, it actually is a conundrum that an all Asian cast is still eligible for under diversity requirements for the Academy Awards, and an all white cast is not, because diversity equals anti-white. It means not white. So that's the conundrum he's pointing out. And Mads Mikkelsen, it flew over his boomer head because he wasn't listening to the guy.
But also, I mean, he probably gets these questions all the time, and it probably annoys the shit out of him. I don't blame him for that.
Does he, though?
I think that a lot of it, if you're going to any of these panels these days, these actors are getting these trap questions. I think the
proper answer would have been well, even if we're not eligible for Oscars, I don't care. I'm proud of this movie.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's all you'd have to say in this
That'd
context.
be cooler, is to just not care about getting Academy recognition, because that's for nerds anyway.
I don't feel that this guy asking the questions asked it in a rude way. I don't feel like it was a trap. It felt as if he was actually pointing out that it's weird that Parasite is eligible, but your movie is not. It didn't come off that way to me. Plus, in the chat, Sketch Therapy is correct. He says, "Do actors cast movies?" It is not the actor's job to cast the movie, nor is it in most cases the director may have some say in some of the casting, or he may be collaborative with the casting director and the people in charge of the studio, but he's not the one entirely casting the movie either. But when you write the script, you have to take into account where the story is going to go. And a lot of movies nowadays do try to account for that in the story because they want to be able to be eligible for awards. They want to get praise from the access media and all of these things. I just didn't feel that this guy was being all that unfair to them. I didn't.
No, he wasn't.
But
it was cut up and posted to Twitter because ad revenue on Twitter requires people to lie and fabricate sometimes.
Unless Olivia Rodrigo is mad at you.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to lie.
I should have gotten into more back and forth with them, but I was worried about getting reported.
Yep. All right, guys, let's move on, shall we? Oh, I want to point out that this is a very disconcerting quote from the director of The Crow. He says, "The Crow starring Bill Skarsgård is going to blow people away and could spawn a shared universe." As you can read from what I said here, don't do it. Make one good movie on a medium-sized budget make a profit. From there, I will expect you to then make a second movie on a medium, similar, maybe slightly bigger sized budget. Make another profit. Upon the completion of the third movie, in which you do the exact same thing and you prove that your movie has staying power, that your character has staying power, that this story has more than one story to tell, you can start just whispering the concept of cinematic universe. And what I pointed out in this thread here was that, look, I love John Wick. I love all of the John Wick movies. They're all fantastic. I'm still not excited really to watch The Continental or Ballerina because I go to those movies to see Keanu Reeves be Keanu Reeves. Not everything is going to translate that well. I believe that they'll end up making money. Like, Hollywood can force it, right? With enough marketing, with enough brand recognition, you can force anything through. But just get the first one right. They're basically like looking at the end zone, and you need to get at least a couple of first downs before you get anywhere near there. Just stop it, because you're going to screw it up, because you're Hollywood, because you screw everything up, because you don't know how to do this.
Talking about video games, an animated series, or a universe in this interview. And he also said it's a kind of anti-Marvel film. How is it an anti-Marvel film if you're already talking about making it into an interconnected cinematic universe?
It's darker than...
You're still following the same model as Marvel in that case.
Yeah, they don't know. It's like when they tried to do the Monsterverse and nobody wanted it. You suck. You suck. You can't do this. None of you know how to do this. Marvel doesn't even know how to do this anymore. You're all bad at it. None of you know what you're doing. You don't know how to make a single good movie anymore. You're bad at it. Stop it.
Go off, Brad.
Listen to me. It's like DC can't do it. Marvel can't do it anymore. The closest thing what's the closest thing you have to this right now? Is it John Wick? It's the Fast and the Furious. And that's not a shared universe. It's only a shared universe because you had the Hobbs and Shaw movie that nobody liked but me. But I get that, right? It's fine. You guys don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to have fun anymore. You're garbage. And if there's even a hint of overuse of CGI in this, it will just be another Marvel movie. It won't be its own thing. It'll just be Marvel but darker. If I wanted to do that, I would just go watch Justice League Dark or something like that. You're garbage. Stop it. Okay.
You're gonna lose your voice, Brett.
I'm fine. We're fine. All right. And since I want to change the vibe, because that was depressing, I did see this, and this was a white pill. This was a white pill for me. If you have ever seen the movie Little Big League, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, because I'm from Minnesota, about the Minnesota Twins, the kid in the movie's mom, who plays the mother in the movie, the boy, he becomes the owner of the Minnesota Twins, and he takes over managing duties. Well, his mom in the movie, Ashley Crow, her real life son just made it to the big leagues. And that is the stuff dreams are made of, ladies and gentlemen. I saw a great clip yesterday of her giving her son a hug on the field, and it was very heartwarming.
Wholesome.
It was a very big white pill. It was a very big white pill.
You just got two opposite sides of Brett.
Yes. So
one that you just don't want to see. You don't want to get on Brett's bad side.
And you should go watch that movie for no other reason than to watch Ken Griffey Jr. get to play a villain, which Seattle Mariners hat right here in the movie. He gets to just play he's just a dick because he's so good at baseball. And so the whole movie is in his whole scene at the end is he hits a home run and he winks at the the guy on third base. And then I don't want to give away the ending, but go see it. Go rent it.
I don't might have already.
I don't know where you'd rent it from. I just love it because I'm nostalgic for the fact that it's from Minnesota and it takes place, they ended up filming it at the Metrodome because they had to actually film it at the Twin Stadium. It's just, it's got this great montage to the song Run Around Sue by Dion and the Belmonts. Everyone should go watch that movie. It's amazing. All right. Here we go.
This is too much.
This is creepy. Creepy.
I don't know if any of you watched Dance Moms. I did. But the dance teacher on Dance Moms, whose entire job it was to terrorize children, Abby Lee Miller, is now receiving a lot of pushback because she said that she's attracted to high schoolers.
This is a weird, in today's climate, no guy would ever say this. No smart man would ever say this.
Well, she said, that's my downfall. I like the high school football players. I still like them. Not one that used to be in high school, but one that is.
That's...
Like, she had to clarify. She really had to make it known that she means specifically the ones who are still in high school. Now, she does have...
It's like if Simon Cowell was like, I love high school cheerleaders.
Couldn't she have said, like, college football players? Yeah, like, why was it specifically high school?
No, it's like if...
You know, and also she's 57, and she's looking rough, 57. Yeah. Like, that's not a good 57.
They call that 57 the hard way.
Yeah.
Time is not...
It's hard living when you have to be an emotional tyrant against children.
Yeah.
For decades.
She's like, I like how she did have to clarify. She's like, by the way, I am being weird. Like, I'm not being kind of weird. I'm being really weird right now. I'm being very strange.
Yeah. Not a good look, but it's just like someone who doesn't really understand where the culture's at now.
Yeah, not in the slightest. So that's gross. All right, guys, if you loved Sound of Freedom and you live in Mexico, I have good news for you.
Any Mexican viewers?
Are there any viewers here who live in Mexico? I would like to know, because the producer of the movie, he's looking to run for office. He wants to be president of Mexico. Which means,
what does that mean exactly?
It means we have a kind face to the drug cartel, corruption, and trafficking. Drug trafficking, not human trafficking, obviously.
His platform,
except for the coyotes and the people who get trafficked over the border.
He's running on a platform of God, fatherland, and family.
God bless,
man. Nice.
I would like to see it work.
His goal is to put an end to child trafficking once and for all.
That would be great. What about the drug trafficking? Can we get rid of both?
Can we do a double whammy?
Double whammy. Yes, the most important thing for this film is that we need to leave behind a permanent legacy and change legislation to ensure countries cooperate better in ending human trafficking. He told Newsweek from Vatican City after having a private audience with Pope Francis. Must be nice.
Wow.
Must be nice. They never. I love movies. You ever seen the meme where it's like Mexico in real life and Mexico in the movies, and it's always like bright orange. It's like you never see like a kind description of, like, one of the things I loved about the movie Sicario is it had like a very realistic portrayal of the way that the government, how you'd imagine the government would be over there. Yeah, we need to get this, and then we need to have him get down to business and take out the cartels.
I don't know anything about how politics works there.
Yeah.
If it's corrupt here, it's doubly corrupt there.
Andrina says that he's going to win on sexiness alone. That's a strong platform, ladies and gentlemen. That's a strong platform.
Has he ever acted or just directed?
No, he's an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in anything yet.
He's in the movie.
Wait, what do you mean?
He's in Sound of Freedom.
In what role?
He's the guy who's like the investor guy, right?
Oh, he was that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know.
Yeah, he's an actor and future president. Hey, if Zelensky can do it, if Trump can do it, who else? If Jesse Ventura can do it, if Ronald Reagan can do it, plenty of actors can lead.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So we need to see this happen. The chat is literally all women now saying he's sexy. Or I mean, there might be men in here too. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You can appreciate a good looking man if you have to. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Also, Oliver Anthony, this is why I put the poll up today, ladies and gentlemen. I put up a poll. I said, how much would you pay to see your favorite musician live? Oliver Anthony canceled a concert at a venue called Cotton Eye Joe's in Tennessee because the prices of the tickets were too high. They were $90 to see the show, $200 for meet and greet. Let's watch his video.
He literally pulled over on the side of a highway, which is kind of dangerous.
Here we go.
Let's
listen to what he says.
I had to pull off on the side of the road and make this video. My adrenaline's pumping, man. I'm pissed off right now. And don't buy Cotton Eye Joe tickets for $99 a piece, and sure as hell don't buy VIP passes for whatever bullshit price they're on. I have a buddy of mine who's not a booking agent. He's a friend of mine. He's a full-time plumber, and I'm trying to hire him full-time as my booking agent. And he agreed to this show, I guess, without asking for what the ticket prices are. Don't pay $100 for a ticket. That's horseshit. If we've got to cancel the venue and play somewhere else, we will. I didn't agree to it, and I don't want you to pay it. So please don't. I'm just trying to get the word out now. I don't know when the event got posted, but just hold off for a little bit.
So he didn't agree to those ticket prices, but what he allegedly did agree to with the venue, according to their recent post, is getting paid $120,000 for his 60-minute long performance.
Yeah, it says the Northman of Richmond contracted to play the Cotton Eye Joe for $120,000 for 60 minutes, the venue revealed. After doing the math and knowing we can only hold approximately 1,500 people, paying the ticket website their fee to sell the tickets, paying the tax man, opening the Joe on a closed night, we set the ticket price to break even, and our customers a show that we thought would be fun. First of all, I will push back on one thing. It's horseshit. Nobody actually sets a ticket price to break even. That's not how business works.
I'm sure they were making a small profit, however small, that still matters, and that's their right to do that. Like, they're providing the venue, they're providing value, they should make profit off of that. But like, why didn't he just agree to get paid less for the appearance to allow people to pay less for tickets?
Yeah, wouldn't it be? Would
that would make more sense than this outcome, which they've just canceled the concert altogether. It just seems like he doesn't want to make money.
Yeah, and you can't do this forever. Venues aren't going to let you perform to break even forever. You're going to have to either host the venue. You have to go to a venue and host it yourself. Have your own venue. But nobody's in this. Nobody's in the business. It's a business to not profit. They have to make money.
Like the sound engineers and the lighting and all the tech and all the everything that goes into putting on productions like this, they just poof into existence. They don't get paid. This is how it's done.
They're saying he's not a sellout. I'm like, but I'm saying, but if the
wanting to make a profit doesn't make someone a sellout, and I really think there's a big misconception going around that wanting to make money is evil. Yeah. And that's far from the truth. Mm-hmm. And really, if you want to have cultural influence, which, he seems to be continuing having an online presence. And
doesn't he want these venues to be able to continue to host events?
Somewhat of a music career, if he's talking about hiring someone full time. If you want to have that kind of cultural impact, you're going to have to also not have a problem with making money off of your work. But he has this weird aversion, self-deprecation going on that he needs to get rid of if he wants to actually be a performer, Don't underestimate yourself, because I'm sure all of these people would have been very much willing to pay that price or more to see him because they really care about his music.
That's the free market.
That is exactly what the free market does. Hating money is not a virtue. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah. Rage Against the Machine selling tickets for $300 is selling out. Because they rail against capitalism.
Sure.
This is not that, dude. The venue has to make money. Everyone has to take their cut along the way.
And making $120,000 off of an hour-long performance is a big fucking deal.
So, so why doesn't he ask you, okay, he could have gone to the venue and be how much do you have to pay me so that we don't have to charge these customers more than $50 a ticket?
But no, now no one gets to see the concert at all.
No fun for you. No fun for you.
Now no fun allowed. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Nick C says, I got my Pop Culture Crisis live tickets for $300 a piece. Yeah, you got them. You must have scalped them, baby, because they're going for $500, $600 even. We're charging way more than that when we finally do this. It just seems weird to me. Wouldn't the smarter option to be look, I want to do this venue for a cheaper amount. What do we have to do? What do you have to pay me to get that? So that you the venue are made whole and make whatever you need to keep the doors open, meaning that you're going to lose out on a bunch of revenue by closing this venue for a night. How much do you have to make to make that profitable for you? Because nobody's in this to just be fun games and buds. It's a business. I'll take the cut because I believe that the music should be cheaper. That would be very, very understandable and on brand for him.
That would have been the logical response. I don't know what this is all about.
Yeah. So it's hopefully, I guess the better answer is hopefully he just gets the booking agent his friend learns along the way what they need to do and they get it solved. But also, very, very scary to pull over on the side of the road to do that.
Yeah, you can see the speed limit sign behind him says 50 or 60.
Yeah. Okay, so in the chat, Derpalipa says Mary has made it her mission to cry about Chris whenever she can. It's kind of hilarious how simple guy got a. Okay, that's.
Is his name Chris?
Yeah. I found this. This was not her. I just thought it was interesting and just figured that there could be a better way of going around it. It just feels like there is a weird type of aversion to a guy making money. Like that people feel like it's what they do.
If
like,
you refuse to,
to
make money, then you're not going to have cultural influence.
A lot of the leftists that do like comic book, like crowdfunding comics do this, where they do this thing where they're like, they show like a pie chart of where all the money's going to go and like make it a point to point out that they're not going to make any profit from it, which is not like nobody expects you to do that. If you're selling a product, you're expected to want to at least make a profit from it. How else are you going to stay in business and be able to make more down the line? Yeah,
it's just weird that like people are criticized for wanting to make money these days. It's odd.
Yep. All right. Speaking of more bad news from music, I was put onto this story by a friend of the show yesterday. Apparently, Blue Ridge Rock Festival very much fell through and was very, very unsafe and caused a bunch of problems over the weekend. The event was canceled, and then the festival organizers and local media were put onto this by a bunch of dissatisfied customers and employees who said it was unsafe and dangerous to be there. Not just weather, but unsanitary. So
they said there was like one porta potty there for hundreds of people to use, and there was no like station to get water.
It says there's people that had to go to the hospital. There's people that got hurt. Where's the accountability, says Andy Brokaw, who was a festival goer. Unsanitary conditions, not enough water, and dangerous weather. Those are just some of the claims people who attended Blue Ridge Rock Festival said this weekend. The John was completely dirty. There was no toilet paper. I kind of looked at it as well. Maybe they're only doing this once in the morning and once in the afternoon, but it looked like about 200 to 300 of us were sharing one.
That's disgusting.
Yes. We were into the festival and I was just noticing a bunch of people on the ground. I couldn't find a water station. And then this eventually got canceled and now they're having to do ticket refunds. And
do you think they're using weather as an excuse?
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It was just bad.
It was just like not planned properly.
Yeah.
Did the person who sent you this actually go there?
Yeah. He was working there.
Oh, he worked. He was working.
He said that it was unsanitary. It was bad for the people who actually went there. It was bad for people who were working there. And the local news stations were getting tons and tons of pushback from this. It says there are a few banks that are willing to help customers, but right now, e-tickets, which is primarily where a lot of people got their tickets, has it on hold until they hear from Blue Ridge. So people want their money back.
Yeah, I mean they deserve it. It sounds like.
Yeah, that's gross.
That sucks. I don't know who were the acts that were there.
Phil was talking about it. Phil wasn't performing there, but a bunch of So it was a big deal. It was like 4 hours away from us. I think 4 or 5 hours away.
Didn't they actually? I think like Tim and some people went last year.
And I think Oliver Anthony performed outside of the event. Like when it got canceled. Yeah, I think so. Good on him and them for there you go. Yeah, do something for the people. Yeah. Right? So so very, very bad to see stuff like that happen. Hopefully nobody got too hurt, but it's Firefest 2.0 without the ham sandwich, without the cheese
I feel
sandwiches.
Like after COVID also, everyone just forgot how to plan logistics of like big events like this. Like what happened?
Yeah.
It seems like every other festival that happens, there's some huge like nightmare fuel event that
feels like it.
Puts people in danger of their lives.
Yeah. So hopefully everyone is okay and hopefully everybody gets their money back because not good. Good. And the businesses should be held accountable.
Yeah.
So. All right. What would you like to see? Cute of the day or cringe of the day?
Let's start with cute of the day.
Okay. All right. We'll do two here. This is from Pigtaku OG on Twitter. On Twitter, it says Pigtaku Magaweeb. That's his username. It says, here's Aurora post walks and looking both exhausted and happy as hell.
Cute.
Hold on. Very cute. Very cute. All right. We got one more here. Oh, we saw that one yesterday. That one. And here we go. This is from Mistress D. Tony and Carmela, reference self-explanatory, I hope. That's a Sopranos reference. Showing off why I hate the kids when the kids let them in the house.
That's so cute. They're dancing.
They are very much dancing.
Someone needs to put that to music.
Is there? Nope, no music to it. Somebody could edit to it. Be great.
I love it.
All right, guys. And if you guys do have cute of the day submissions, we are looking for more at popculturecrisis_show or at popculture_show, but tag me in it at Brett Dazzard. That way I always see it. Hashtag PCC Pets, hashtag cute of the day. The PCC Pets is the most important one. Mm-hmm. All right, we've got a couple of cringes here today. First things first, ladies and gentlemen, the OnlyFans thoughts they dropped their prices on 9/11 in commemoration of the victims.
So let me get this straight. There were girls using 9/11 memorial posts to make more money on their OnlyFans.
Yes, they dropped the price to $9.11. I'm not kidding you.
Our culture has fallen so far.
This lady did it yesterday. Or last year too.
Yeah, this is just not okay.
You see the United Air. I don't actually know what airline it was that happened on 9/11. I don't need to know. I just know that it's
That's
not
weird. I don't either.
But yeah, it's a very, very cringe.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, that was
it's just man-made horrors beyond your comprehension every day.
It's not.
It
quite
seems to never end.
On a scale of this to the Virginia lady running for office with the ChatterBait profile, what is worse?
Honestly, the 9/11 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And also, somebody yesterday sent me apparently. I don't remember who's
what?
When Paris Hilton's porn came out, One Night in Paris, it was dedicated to the victims of 9/11, and it came out 3 years after 9/11.
Wait, okay, but that was a different situation, right? Like her boyfriend put that out there. And then I remember it was Nicole Richie who screened it at a party publicly.
Today I learned that Paris Hilton's sex tape is, yep, here it is.
Dude, that's so messed up.
Somebody says.
Also that the Marriott post, it goes up every 9/11.
Yep, what's worse?
Complimentary muffins for 30 minutes in the hotel lobby, guys.
I saw a thing yesterday, Which Way Western Men. It was the one of the OnlyFans one or the hotel one. Which Way Western Men.
Damn, breakfast should be free at the hotel anyway.
It absolutely should. Andrina says not her boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Andrina says not her boyfriend.
Who was it then?
Who was it if not her boyfriend? I just remember that.
I thought it was her ex-boyfriend or something. Like he put it out there and then Nicole Richie screened it.
Yeah.
But I also saw a post that said that on 9/11 James Cameron was in a submersible looking at the Titanic and he found out about it when he came back up to the surface.
Sounds about right. Oh, what a culture. What a culture. All right.
Why would they post that?
I have no idea.
That doesn't make sense.
I have no idea. All right. So let's go. We got one more here. Mary found this one. Let's watch this clip here.
Here's everything I did this week as a 35-year-old without children. I decided at the last minute that I was going to book a trip to Europe to meet some friends and go road tripping around. So I did that. Landed in Slovenia in a town called Ljubljana. Had never been there, didn't know how to pronounce it at first. It was beautiful. Roamed around, had myself some goulash, enjoyed a view over the city, looked at this castle. The next day I took myself out for some lunch, enjoyed some Slovenian wine, purchased 4 bottles to take for the road. Then I jumped in a van with my friends and we continued onward. We went to a place called Lake Bled. I really wanted to try the Bled cream slice. It's famous around these parts, so we took it out in a rowboat and enjoyed it on the water in front of this church/castle. There's a castle up on the cliff too. Then we drove to Austria and we checked out this cute little town. Then we stayed in a parking lot.
It is beautiful, I'll give her that.
I got ready in a public washroom, sat by the water to enjoy the view. And that's what I'm currently doing as I make this. I'll keep you updated on the rest of the trip.
Thanks, Plan B.
Maybe it's just her tone of voice.
Yeah.
But somehow, don't get me wrong, I would love to hang out in European villages and drink wine and eat delicious food. That sounds great. but it's just her tone of voice makes it sound like the most boring thing on the planet. Yeah. Like, she doesn't sound like she's having a good time. Yeah. And I don't know why you can't just flex about your vacation without mentioning the fact that you're 35 and don't have children.
I was going to say, like, do you think...
rich people who have children and rich people who don't have children all take vacations like this.
Yeah. Well, no, the point is that she did it on a whim.
I mean...
She goes, I was just, cutting my nails when I decided, you know what? I want to go to Sylvania.
I think if you're in a certain tax bracket, you do things like that on a whim, whether or not you have children.
Also, like, a big part of this, I really do believe, like, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for, like, people having their phone to, like, flex to show the video of it. Like, if I can't post this on Instagram to all the people that don't really care about me beyond the fact of getting a push notification when I post something new, like, why do it?
The thing is, like, you can post like bragging about your vacation without mentioning that you don't have children.
Yeah.
What is the point of posting that other than coping? And also posting that to try to make parents feel bad about their life choices.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's kind of mean.
I mean, I don't know if she's doing it for that.
Kind of malicious.
I don't know if she's doing it for that reason. It's more of an affirmation of her life choices than it is a commentary on somebody else's.
Well, it's affirming her own life choices by putting down other people.
But she's not putting them down. She's just saying, this is what I did without kids. I don't feel like that's...
I mean, you're being charitable in your interpretation here.
That's
sure.
me. They call me Mr. Charitable, Mary. They call me Mr. Charitable. Also, for...
Someone said I'm getting rid of my kids right now.
I'm out of here.
I was just at like one of these random bits and bobs gift shops or whatever.
Yeah.
And there were onesies for sale that literally said, I'm a financial burden. Or like socks that said, I love my asshole kids. Like, who is that made for?
Yeah.
Like, why would you just like openly let your kids know how much you hate them and resent them?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the onesie actually said, I'm going to be a financial burden well after I turn 18. Like, it was like something to that effect.
Yeah.
Why? Like, you've got to be sick in the head to put that on.
Also,
your
that
baby.
poor guy who probably wants to have sex with her and either isn't or they're just casually.
Her group of male friends who totally aren't trying to get with her. Totally care.
And that's
about
assuming
her as
that
a person.
that male friend didn't pay for the trip to Sylvania.
Yeah.
In which case,
it really makes you wonder who's footing the bill.
Well, it's like I'm being flown to Dubai.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Sylvania.
Yes. So you just get a Sylvania TV. So then you don't have to go to Sylvania. All right, guys. Now that we are 40 minutes into the show, let's jump right into it, shall we? Mary, tell us what's going on with Elon Musk and the Joker.
So there's a new biography coming out about Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson, just titled Elon Musk. Very simple. And part of the book is covering the rocky road of his romantic life and relationships and how he's attracted to crazy chicks.
He loves the crazy ones.
He's addicted to drama.
He loves the crazy ones.
He loves the drama. And one of those girlfriends is Amber Heard, whom he dated on and off somewhat in 2017. And I believe he had an affair with her while she was married to Johnny Depp. That's at least according to Johnny Depp's accusation. She denied it. He simped for her even after they no longer were dating. He offered to give her 24/7 security services when she wanted a restraining order against Johnny Depp. And he really didn't come out to say anything supportive of Johnny Depp while that defamation trial was ongoing.
Yeah.
So it's a little disappointing because he does know the truth. Now, we see that behind the scenes, his relationship with Amber Heard was an absolute nightmare.
He loves the crazy ladies. I can sympathize.
So, according to Elon Musk's brother, Amber Heard was just so toxic and calls it a nightmare. And Elon Musk's chief of staff, Sam Teller, compared her to the Joker.
I
and
love
said
that he has a chief of staff.
she didn't have a goal or aim other than chaos. She thrives on destabilizing everything.
I'm like a dog chasing Teslas.
Grimes also added, my Dungeons and Dragons alignment would be chaotic good, whereas Amber's is probably chaotic evil.
Okay, here's the thing. It's also narcissistic of Grimes to give herself that much of the benefit of the doubt.
I think Grimes comes off as a chaotic good.
She's neutral at best. She's not good.
What's so wrong with Grimes?
She's neutral at best. She's a Mars socialist, and I don't like it. She's a interplanetary socialist. I don't like interplanetary socialists any more than I like champagne socialists.
And interestingly, Amber Heard also did an interview for the biography, and she's going to give her own side of the story. But what she has said so far is Elon loves fire, and sometimes it burns him. Mm. She's had nothing but positive things to say about her relationship with Elon, and that they related to each other over a shared love of science and sharing ideas.
That is the lamest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's bad.
Holy crap. Could you be any more of a freaking dweeb?
Amber Heard said, I guess I could be called a geek for someone who could also be called a hot chick.
I can appreciate you giving yourself the benefit. Amber said this, right?
Yes.
Maybe I've got a little too much Elon going on, because I'm like, look, I'm more willing to give her the leeway in being overly confident about her hotness than I am giving Grimes the benefit of the doubt about her goodness.
That's fair. Allegedly, also, the biography reveals that Elon got Amber Heard to role play in the bedroom as a character from Overwatch, Mercy. Like she actually got the whole costume and everything.
And here's the thing. The girl who will get...
It's too cringe for words.
The girl who will get the whole costume and role play with you is bound to be a little bit nutty. And you know what? As a guy with a lot of money and time, not time, but a lot of money, you make the value judgment. You're like, look, on one hand, she's going to wear the costume. She's going to address me as such. And it's going to be a lot of fun. On the other hand, if I leave the room, she might shit the bed.
Yeah.
Worth it, he says.
He made the trade-off. That's why I was saying that I don't really believe a victim narrative with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, because I think that men who get in relationships with this woman, they want to be there. Yeah. For whatever messed up reason, they want to be with the crazy BPD art hoe.
You love the chaos.
Who's going to make your life a living hell because you made that value judgment.
Again, worth it.
Yeah. His brother also added that he thinks it's really sad Elon falls in love with people who are really mean to him.
But Elon
they're
doesn't
beautiful,
seem to mind.
no question, but they have a very dark side, and Elon knows that they're toxic.
And Elon loves it. And Elon's like, look, worth it. And I say, go with God, my friend. If that's what makes you happy, do your thing.
Elon also explained away his love for toxic women, saying, I'm just a fool for love. I'm often a fool, but especially for love. He's like, I'm just a flirt.
He's the Kevin Spacey of no.
So there's a lot of baby mama drama in the biography aside from that. And it also reveals that behind the scenes, in the summer of 2017 through fall of 2018, he had the most hellacious period of his life. Elon Musk went through periods when he oscillated between depression, stupor, giddiness, and manic energy. He traces back this tailspin to the news of his father's relationship with his stepdaughter, messy, as well as his own stormy relationship with the actor Amber Heard, who had recently gone through a tumultuous divorce with Johnny Depp. Amber Heard drew Musk into a dark vortex around 2017 that lasted more than a year and produced a deep-seated pain that lingers to this day. His brothers and friends hated her with a passion. But they also made sure to add a defense of her, saying, she's taken enough bludgeoning in the public eye from the media.
You don't get to crap in a man's bed and then put a cap on how much derision you're given. Sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, this is from the same author that wrote a biography on Steve Jobs, and this is supposed to be the quote astonishingly intimate story of the most fascinating and controversial innovator of our era.
And it was Heard that dressed up like Mercy from Overwatch, right? Yeah. Okay. Somebody in the chat was asking. Just double check.
I'm sure Grimes has done similar things for Elon. It's just crazy how they're all so like head over heels for him.
He's a magnetic personality, and he's unique.
I think that this biography,
and plus he had the hair. He got the hair transplant. He looks like $1 million.
This biography is sold as if you don't know whether to like him or hate him because he's such a polarizing figure, then you should read this to get the inside scoop on what his real personal life is actually like. But I think that it just feeds into his ego even more by making him sound exactly as cool as he wants to sound. Yeah. Like, you're comparing him to Tony Stark and Bond villains. Either way, he wins.
He wins either way. He's like, today I'm Tony Stark. Cool. Today I'm Blofeld. Cooler.
But this apparently shows the story of him getting bullied very badly as a child, him getting like hospitalized literally by getting beaten so much by his classmates, and that he treats the world as an adult like the playground that he gets to own. And also stories about how he built his business and blah blah blah. I'm less interested in that. I'm more interested in the drama and the salacious details of his relationships, clearly. But I just think that
there's nothing more relatable to most men than at the very least a inkling of desire to want to be. I remember I was talking to it was like a quote from a television show, and it rang really true with me. It's like things you have to do before the age of 30. And one of them is like, go out with a woman that you know is absolutely bonkers. Now, the point being that, like...
Doesn't sound like great advice, Brett.
I didn't say I gave the advice. I'm just saying, like, and it rang true because most people, when you're under 30, you still have the emotional bandwidth and the time to process that. Once you get older than that, you might not have the ability, unless you're somebody like Musk, who has all the resources and the ability to do so. And every guy's going to be like, look, if I saw Amber Heard, I would probably do so as well. I would bend my standards a little bit because she's beautiful. She might be a little crazy. She might make my life chaotic and difficult to handle. But sometimes the small brain overrides the big brain, and that's the way the world works.
It's just bizarre though. That he's still doing this in his 50s. He's in his 50s and he dates as if he is in high school or college still. It's just kind of worrying. And another detail that I haven't seen this biography touch upon, possibly because of Elon's control over it, is his possible child with Amber Heard. Like, are we going to find out whether her surrogate child belongs to him? Because I would bet money on that. I really would. The timing works out. And clearly none of these women care about actually being with him in a relationship before agreeing to this arrangement.
Yeah.
It matches up. It makes sense. And also, he's already made multiple charitable donations in her name to organizations to make her look good, to the tune of like $1 million at this point.
She's just an absolute panther in the sack. She's a panther in the sack, and
he's clearly simping.
He behaves accordingly.
Yeah. There are also details that say his father's impact on his psyche would linger. He developed into a tough yet vulnerable man-child, prone to abrupt Jekyll and Hyde mood swings, with an exceedingly high tolerance for risk, a craving for drama, an epic sense of mission, and a maniacal intensity that was callous and at times destructive. So it's daddy issues that's at the bottom of all this.
And somebody to be as successful as him in that many enterprises, starting over this many times with this many projects and succeeding on them, requires the ability to take on a crap ton of risk and deal with it, with the stress that comes from it. And you know what helps you de-stress? You go out with your nutso girlfriend who threatens to crap on your bed after she dresses up in her cosplay outfit for you, and you're like, okay, back to the boardroom now that I'm done.
The funniest thing about this is they met at the Met Gala in 2017 2 weeks after she reportedly had this blow up fight with Johnny Depp and they had broken up. And then before she was divorced, there's video evidence of him visiting her late at night at their shared penthouse.
That elevator's gotten some real characters.
It's gotten some traffic.
It's gotten some traffic.
Elon cucked Johnny Depp. I'm sorry to say.
And maybe he did it while wearing Sauvage, that cologne that.
Yeah. Maybe that scent like triggers her into a manic breakdown.
Emotional damage.
What if I like came up to Amber Heard wearing Sauvage and was like, "Hey, I'm such a big fan." She just like blacks out.
Wear a Depp shirt. Like, Justice for Johnny Depp shirt, but be ungovernable. Like just go up to like Justice for Johnny Depp, but go up to Amber Heard and be like, "Oh my God, I'm such a big fan of yours." Like never let him know your next move.
This is not good PR for Amber Heard while we're about to see Aquaman 2 come out.
And who knows like how much we're going to see of her in the trailer when that comes out on Thursday.
She's going to be in like 0 press interviews, correct?
They're going to be like, so in what way is Mara like your relationship with Johnny Depp? She's like, what?
Wait, is she... I'm not caught up. Is she the love interest?
Yes. Yep.
In the movie?
Yep. Oh, yeah. She's like, so who's better in bed, Jason Momoa or
Did she
Johnny
get
Depp?
Elon to cosplay as Jason Momoa to get her in character?
She's like really into Jason Momoa from Game of Thrones, and she's like, yes, yeah, that'd be great. And it's just, Elon understood, but when he's with this woman, I mean, who's the most of all the women that he's got kids with that he's been linked to? Who's the most normal?
His first wife, it sounds like.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
What is her name?
And let's face it, beyond just his personality, money and resources amplify those traits in a person. So if he already had like a little bit of preference for crazy, like all the money and resources makes it all the more realistic that he's going to lean harder into that type of thing.
Did his dad know his stepdaughter like when she was a child?
I don't know.
That whole situation just sounds incredibly messy and broken.
Yeah, his dad is dating his stepdaughter.
But he's not exactly breaking the cycle because he keeps his family dynamics extremely messy and chaotic on purpose.
Yeah. Yep. He does not exactly have it set up in the most traditional of senses.
Yeah, he clearly has no problem with having like disjointed families with kids he's not involved in their lives.
And it's too bad because she could have settled down with Uncle Elon and
Elon being your dad would give you such issues.
Well, they have the one kid that became a communist and no longer became trans and a communist.
Yeah.
And is no longer part of the family.
Yeah.
I'm still fascinated to know whether that kid takes money from.
I mean, probably.
It's like it's so like, doesn't that like, imagine you're that person, you're like, I'm part of the communist revolution, I'm trans, but you're still taking money from the proletariat. You're still taking the money, right?
Right. Or at least in some
You think
sense.
you're the proletariat, but you're just no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's
I don't believe that Elon is really hurting over that relationship going south. He's just multiplying more kids to fix the problem.
He just has
to
more
Band-Aid over the problem, really. Yeah, and it's a Band-Aid over the loss of his first son.
Child.
That's really sad.
Yeah. And he's like, I can cover up my pain with crazy.
Yeah. He's just drowning his grief in toxic relationships.
He's like, hi.
With celebrity women.
Do you have an absolute batshit personality and the ability to have fantastic sex? They're like, yes. He's like, you're hired. Come here. That's all it takes.
People need to like educate themselves on the warning signs when like women have BPD because it's not.
What are the warning signs?
Well, basically, they're prone to extreme mood swings. They see people in just black and white.
They're
either
women.
All good or all bad. You're not able to reason.
Yeah.
Really. And they're more attracted to like the extremes and to drama because it gives them a sense of security.
Women love that anyways. Even
well, it's like amplifying all of the toxic traits of women to extremes where you literally can't function.
Scary. scary stuff, and it's not something you want to get involved in if you're like a high-powered dude who's got like multiple business empires.
Let me link myself to you forever by having a kid with you.
Yep.
That's smart. Let's go to Superchats.
Yep, let's do it.
Tacti Platty said, "Hey PCC, could you please wish the soon-to-be Mrs. Platty a happy birthday? She puts up with so much of my nonsense."
Happy birthday, Mrs. Platty!
Happy birthday, Mrs. Platty. I feel bad. I forgot to say happy birthday to Libby yesterday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
I guess when your birthday is on 9/11, a lot of people forget.
Well, didn't she make the comment? It's like when people have birthdays on Christmas, like around Christmas, and everybody's like, it all gets drowned out.
Yeah.
Except for some way more depressing version of that.
You're right. Yurishima Otaru said, reporter is trying to point out anti-white bigotry. Yeah, I agree. Half-Baked Treehouse said, I would buy less than $50 because all my favorite bands play at the county fair.
Oh, there you go. Let's hold off on the rest and we'll come back. Guys, I want a crisis party. I want a crisis party. Ooh,
We're overdue.
Yep, we're overdue. All right, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about House and Habit.
So Chrissy Bixler is an accuser of Danny Masterson, one that did not get a conviction for her accusations against the actor, and she's extremely mad about it. And she's now threatened an independent journalist with a lawsuit simply for questioning the motives that were behind this whole trial. Basically, House and Habit, if you didn't know, Jessica Reed Krause, she has a Substack. She is an independent journalist. She is a gossip journalist. She said she doesn't have like traditional ways of reporting. She goes off of her own interpretations of the facts available to her, and she doesn't go through like rigorous fact checking, which is fine. Like, not everyone can be that person.
As gossip, yeah.
She's not like passing off gossip as fact. She's just going with what's publicly out there. And she was questioning on social media, was this a trial about Danny Masterson's alleged crimes, or was this a trial against the Church of Scientology? Yeah. Because if you get Scientology mixed into the motives for the trial, then the facts are kind of going to go to the wayside, right? Yeah. And she basically got targeted by Chrissy Bixler and a TikToker named the TikTok Advocate. And mass reporters, people like reported her account until she got locked out of her Instagram, which is her main form of communication. And it's all because she had the gall to question why Chrissy Bixler was involved in this case. She also is like a unique accuser here because she was one of his live-in girlfriends. This was not the same as the two that got convictions. So let's like watch that TikTok by the TikTok Advocate. That's a red flag of a username, by the way.
Where did it go? I had it here. Here it is. Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
Krause, also known as House and Habit, 1.2 million followers on Instagram. This individual is not a credentialed journalist or even a citizen journalist. This is what you can expect. Let's hear more on that from her.
I don't really play by the same framework as a journalist. A traditional journalist is, very cautious in how the story's framed and super detail-oriented and obsessively fact-checking, which I don't always focus on. And it's really very simple. It's really just about gossip.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Fact-checking, which I don't always focus on. And it's really very simple. It's really just about gossip.
So, Jess, I see you trying to move the Overton window. A whole lot inside this playlist. As a survivor advocate, I can say confidently, your gossip isn't needed here.
So they're mad at her because she is voicing her own opinions about this. So she wrote this
And they don't
letter.
like the fact that she has 1 million subscribers and a very, very, very big Substack.
Well, she has a big following because she has a unique perspective and is willing to question things. She also did a lot of coverage on Depp and Amber Heard. She did a lot of coverage on Harvey Weinstein, on Epstein, a lot of these Me Too cases. And before she was banned, she posted this at Chrissy Bixler. Since you insist on communicating publicly when you can easily email or DM me, you are the one harassing me. I simply raised questions about the aftermath of this high-profile trial, like I do, like free speech allows. You cannot sue someone for having an opinion you don't like or posing questions about a trial everyone is talking about, especially when you're the one implicating and insulting people. If you want to speak to me, try reaching out like an adult. If you want to send what I've posted to your lawyers like you're threatening, just know they are your own words. P.S. My lawyer is watching too. So she's threatening a lawsuit for what?
Having an opinion.
Harassment, I guess? Yeah. I guess this woman has been really used to everyone affirming everything she says.
Yep.
I don't even know whether her accusations against Danny Masterson are true or not, but that's really not relevant to this conversation.
This is a free speech discussion.
Exactly. Like, this is not worth taking away someone's platform and therefore livelihood, right? Like, that doesn't quite add up. And now she's locked out of her Instagram, and she's made 2 backup accounts. One is House Inhibited and one is House Inhabited. So go follow those. Just in case she doesn't get access to her account again, but it had like over 1 million followers. Like, that's a big deal. And it's really hard to get back access to your Instagram after you
having
lose
an
it.
opinion on somebody is not defamation.
Well, what was she even threatening a lawsuit for? Was it harassment, defamation? If anything, she's guilty of defamation against Ashton Kutcher, because in her Instagram story, Chrissy Bixler is heavily implying that Ashton Kutcher is guilty for a cold-blooded murder of a woman that he was dating in 2001.
By Hollywood standards.
Claiming, by the way, that she heard a phone call between him and Danny Masterson plotting about the murder together.
By Hollywood standards today, that's less bad than R word anyways. By Hollywood standards.
Both are really bad,
yes.
Okay? Yep. And one would be extremely important to tell the police for the 2 decades that you've been aware of this fact. Mm-hmm. But it actually just makes you look worse that you were sitting on this information until it became convenient for you to use it as ammunition against him. And I mean, it's interesting because I think it could have been that Danny Masterson has dirt on Ashton Kutcher that coerced him into writing that character recommendation letter to the judge to give him a more lenient sentencing.
Yeah.
Do you think that might be the case? Like, he has dirt on people?
I mean, I imagine that's a very, very common thing for people within the Scientology, within the church to do, right?
They record everything.
Yeah, is to have some type of dirt. And it's one of those things, the longer you know someone, especially if there's bad behavior between the pair of you, it ends up becoming ammunition if somebody ever turns on the other person, or at the very least doesn't just stay out of their way. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're expecting, right, is for somebody to stay out of their way. But this is an issue of free speech, and this stuff came up during Johnny Depp as well too, right? People were very, very upset with people who were in the early days of that, when everybody was still, for the most part, on Amber Heard's side. People didn't want to hear people speaking out and having something, negative to say about her. Obviously, the narrative on that one changed. I don't think that's what's going to happen here. Again, if I had to lay money down on it, I'd say the dude's probably guilty. But that does not mean that Krause does not have a right to say her piece and to have an opinion on these things. She's absolutely allowed to.
So she just put out a Substack post that's public.
Gossip columnists have existed for as long as newspapers have existed.
Right. She said it's a coordinated attack, suspending her account. Here's how you can help. It's just like the old days. Depp versus Heard, logging on late at night, noticing glitchy action on my account right before it stumbles into a paralyzed state of suspension. Then the dreaded warning message announcing immediate action and the surge of panic that springs over, preparing to go to war once again over slanderous media lies. Note, I only get taken down when I'm uncovering something true. In addition to Masterson's letters yesterday, I shared what could prove an explosive twist in the Epstein saga. Will mainstream track it? P.S. I suggest diving in if you have not read through the comments here. It's top-notch internet bickering, but also very informative. And she said, if you want to help her get her account back, you should send requests to Instagram support. But it was about 1 a.m. last night. She was alerted that her account had been suspended. And she hasn't violated any guidelines. But that clearly doesn't matter because they'll just suspend people who get mass reported no matter what.
And they don't want to have to deal with it. And it's impossible to work through all those claims independently.
Mm-hmm. So the first time that she lost access to her account was after she broke a story about Amber Heard's PR representative, David Shane, having his own sexual misconduct claims against him. So basically whatever the media, like whatever mainstream outlets don't want to cover that she's covering, it's going to get suppressed.
Yep.
And it's a shame to see that happen.
I don't know what to do in these, especially for a platform. She seems to be bigger, more of a fan of Instagram than she is of Twitter. House and Habit, like she posts more on Instagram, it looks like, than she does on Twitter. So that's a very big loss for her. And like you said, that's how she makes a living. She's got her Substack, which has a lot of people subscribe to it. She makes good money doing that. It's her livelihood. And when you're paid money to have an opinion and somebody says your opinion is now a crime,
they called her a rape and cult apologist
for having an opinion.
And then they softly threatened a lawsuit by posting this announcement about Cardi B suing a YouTuber for $4 million over defamation.
Yeah.
And urged her followers to report her account because she was threatening her, which is not true. And TikTok minions flooded her site. And it shows how easily an accusation weaponized on social media can trigger an attack to silence any enemy.
Yeah, and it's in those words alone are used to silence you by painting you in the most uncharitable and evil light that they can. Trying to get you to back down.
But the best thing you can do is not apologize.
But they were
also
doing this.
Colonel Kurtz is covering this.
Yes, Colonel Kurtz has been covering it heavily.
Keep an eye on her channel.
But also like the same stuff was happening. Speaking of Colonel Kurtz, when Evan Rachel Wood and stuff, when all those facts started coming out, and if you pushed back on Manson on the supposed guilt of Marilyn Manson at all, they, Evan Rachel Wood and the people that she was with labeled people in the same fashion.
And when I see stories like that, unlike Colonel Kurtz, unlike Jessica Reed Krause, I don't feel any type of way about it. Like, I really don't feel strongly about it. I think all of these people in Hollywood and the entertainment industry are scumbag sexual deviants anyway. And you get yourself into these situations, you're with dangerous people who are volatile, liars, degenerates, and you take the risk of the people that you associate with when you're in the Hollywood circle. But I clearly understand why people like House and Habit and Colonel Kurtz and these other independent journalists and YouTubers care so much about uncovering the truth, because everyone else is lying. The truth does matter. I just don't particularly care about it that much.
It's just, it's crazy to see, because these types of things, I saw multiple people. I saw Shane Cashman posting about this, about her having her page taken down. I saw Pete Parada mentioning her having her page taken down. She's spoken out about a lot of things. And they were like, Pete Parada was basically said to me, he's like, out of all the things that she's covered, this is what.
Yeah, like, why now?
Why now?
But she's claiming she also uncovered something about Epstein at the same time.
Yeah.
That might be related. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, because these are the types of things where these stories, it's not like we're ever going to run out of these stories. There's going to be stories about degenerates in Hollywood for as long as Hollywood exists, right? We're going to hear stories about scumbags doing things, and that's fine. You can have your opinion. Like I said, if I had to bet, I'd say he's guilty. But somebody else having their own, detailed, layered opinion about it, and they always do this, where they frame it in the most black and white way possible.
And that's why, honestly, it's so much easier for us to talk about and, spread awareness about issues that are more black and white, like Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Because at least in that case, nobody is like lying about that for financial gain.
Yeah.
There's a clear-cut perpetrator, clear-cut victim in that situation. When it's someone who's possibly fame-seeking or has a vendetta or is seeking money through a lawsuit, it gets more complicated, and I'm simply not going to believe all victims.
Yeah. Yep. I saw there was it goes both ways, right? I just saw the other day that one of the Krasensteins, I mentioned it last week, one of the Krasensteins on the Obama stuff was like, why would he lie other than money, fame, fortune? And then somebody's like, did you have the same opinion about, what's her name?
Do they honestly think that Tucker Carlson paid that guy to give an interview?
I mean, it's funny. I mean,
do they honestly think that?
I mean, he probably did get paid to do the interview.
Really?
He probably got an appearance fee. Oh, yeah.
I doubt it.
Chat, what do you think? Did Tucker pay the guy who gave the interview?
Even if that guy is in it for money and fame, however effective or ineffective that is, that's not mutually exclusive with telling a true story.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just, it's scary to think that people can just get somebody who's doing their best to just process and share information with people, and you're somehow taken down by people who believe that it's their right to tell you what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say.
Yeah, in fact, she should probably sue Chrissy Bixler at this point.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, as I said last night, there is only one Eric Draven, the Crow, and that is Brandon Lee. Leave it the F alone.
I agree with you, buddy, but unfortunately that's we're past that now, so we have to be realistic about what's going to happen, and it's going to happen. It's going to come out. We'll have to see where it goes. I think, didn't Jason Momoa play the Crow in one of the bad reboots? I could be that was not a J.J. Abrams joke. I gotta double check here. I think Jason Momoa played the Crow in one of like the bad straight to DVD reboots of it. I'd have to double check.
Boosted Yogi said PDF files are getting too comfortable.
True.
Yeah, they are. Hiroshima Otaru said Anthony is using derpy commie logic.
A little bit.
He also said it's only selling out if you take money to break morals. Yeah, I agree. Disco Jensen said first the brand, then the product, then profits.
First the brand, then the product, then profits. If we're talking in relation to if we're talking in relation to Oliver Anthony, I don't know. Like, what's the question? What are we saying? Yeah. So.
Shane H. Wilder said, I saw Alice Cooper in 2021 and paid $59, and I was only 6 rows from the stage. Then again, I spent like $150 on swag.
There you go. You got to make the money on the merch.
That's where real money is made.
Yep. Oliver Anthony needs to have like, it'd be
Oliver Anthony merch.
Just super expensive merch.
I mean, if you don't make your own merch, other people are going to make
He has like a drip line like of like streetwear.
He has a designer collab.
I love it. Let's hold off on the rest and we'll come back.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Chris Evans.
Chris Evans is currently under fire for getting married to a woman who is 16 years younger than him. This is Alba Baptista. You might know her from Warrior Nun on Netflix.
Nobody
I didn't
knows
realize
her from
that at first. Almost nobody does. So he's 42. She is 26 years old. She's only 26, you sick fuck.
She's basically a teenager.
She's a 26-year-old teenage girl. And according to a lot of weirdos on Twitter, he is a creepy old predator. And he should be locked up. One person said, I don't care what anyone says. 42 and 26 is something. She's barely starting when he has already had a spot in the industry. They're in different stages of their life. She wasn't even born and he was already a teen. I don't care how mature she is. It's never been about her. It's him, 42.
Wait, so
their age gap is so icky. I'm sorry, but I can't even think what two people in their age brackets would have in common. Okay, how about working in the same industry? How about the fact that they want the future of their lives to look similar? Maybe they both aspire to marriage and family and having a private life, and not a lot of people in Hollywood do.
I mean, I don't think that's what it is.
Maybe their personalities just click well. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I don't know what to say. Like, 26 is very much an adult capable of making her own decisions.
So the commentary isn't that the age what they're saying is that yes, she's an adult, but I guess the age gap is too big a thing for them to overcome. But it is basically saying that she's not mature enough to understand her actions, or he is so mature that his actions are predatory.
I think they're saying that her maturity level doesn't matter, that someone who's 42 and someone who's 26 can never relate to each other enough to make sense.
By the ironclad law of half your age plus 7, technically she is too young for him by 2 years, but I don't make the rules.
People are also claiming that Chris Evans is not getting criticized as much as other stars would because he's an MCU darling and the media loves him. He was also voted the sexiest man alive for People last year.
Well, then who can blame 26-year-old what's
she
her name?
She saw that magazine and she was like,
I gotta have him.
Yeah.
She's like, I gotta have him. I mean, it is very. Look, plenty of women get married at 26, want kids, want a family, want to start a life with someone. It took him longer to make that decision and settle down for himself, and they found each other. I don't see the problem with that.
No, I don't either. Chris Evans married someone my age. Where's the age gap police? I hate to break it to this person. Who is going to tell them that they're an adult now, even though they still run a Stan account on Twitter? That's going to be an awkward realization when it comes.
Yep.
Also, an account called Leave Heard Alone, which we've actually discussed before, they posted their age gap, no context, no explanation, and then said, all large power imbalances give me pause, and large age gaps do create large power imbalances.
Can they explain how that works? Is it a financial power imbalance?
Here's what it says.
Is it an intelligence power imbalance? Are they calling her an idiot?
They said nearly all relationships have some imbalances of power. Large age gaps, like all power imbalances, can be exploited and lead to abuse. But age gaps between adults, like all power imbalances, aren't always and immediately a problem. They just can be. I believe they're worth making note of, especially in a culture that normalizes and glamorizes them. Do you think our culture normalizes and glamorizes age gap relationships?
No, I think it goes the opposite that way now. And now
I think our culture glorifies no relationship.
Yeah. It's to make you so afraid of
our
being in a relationship.
Our culture vilifies all relationships of all kinds.
It's to make it's like, okay, you're marrying a guy, but does the guy's family have money? Does your family have money? There's 1,000 different Marxist techniques they can use to tell you why it won't work out because of some type of societal power imbalance, financial power imbalance. All these ways that they use to divide up the classes, you can use to divide up the sexes as well.
I just find the situation so absurd because it should not really be news that Chris Evans, 42, married Alba Baptista, 26. Like, in this culture, everything is permissible in sexuality. Everything. Polyamory, homosexuality, transsexuality, any and all kinks, any and all disgusting fantasies that you have about harming people or animals, like any of that, all like pride parades, simulating sex on camera, having sex on camera and selling the videos online for the price of a quarter pounder at McDonald's. Literally everything is permissible sexually in this society. So that's why I think a lot of these weird people on Twitter are so scandalized and legalistic and like pharisaical about putting boundaries on people's relationships that happen to have age gaps. Because that's the one thing, that's like their one sacred cow that they want to keep to shame people out of having relationships. And it's not even like this is just a fling that he's having with a younger woman to use her for her looks or use her for whatever, his public image. They're committing to a lifetime of a monogamous relationship and having children together. That's just about as wholesome as you can get.
They're committing to like 6 to 7 years and then a messy
Hopefully
breakup.
They stay together. That doesn't often happen in Hollywood.
I've got my money on 3 years and 7 months.
It's a valiant effort. That's all I'm saying. It's not like he's being a pervert who's using her for sex.
Yeah. And they do have things in common, right? They work in the same industry.
He's posting videos of them skiing together and gardening together and seeing movies and whatever. Like, I'm sure they do all normal couple things. Mm-hmm. So what is so absurd and outlandish about this relationship? I don't understand.
Like you said, it's people that want to take some type of pleasure, I guess, in policing somebody's ability to do so because it's not degenerate.
It's just like the second that they see something actually, I don't know, like the second they see a relationship that is actually good to emulate, like a monogamous, exclusive, heterosexual, like.
I wonder if they would have the same critique if they were gay.
Like, no, they wouldn't. But that's also like, I mean, that's a whole other can of worms. Yeah. But like, as soon as it's a normative couple that is getting married, they look like a man and a woman, they act like a man and a woman, they want to have kids, and they want to have a private life. Like, they were very strict about keeping their marriage ceremony private and not having phones out and not inviting a bunch of celebrity guests to post about it and make it a big thing. Yeah. Like, as soon as they see something like that that's relatively normative and wholesome, they want to vilify it.
It's also very hard for me to care because he's such an annoying woke tard.
He is.
He's awful. So he's.
So I really don't see what Alba Baptista sees in him.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't really get it, but I don't have to get it.
It's. I guess like it's good to see.
She was 8 when he was in Fantastic Four.
Yeah. People are like, Brett, you can't work with Mary because she's 23 and you're 38. There's a power imbalance in the office.
Is that something people say?
No, I don't. I would assume not. But that's the world we live in. But there is this I think it all comes back to, in a lot of ways, the constant desire for everyone to be like statistically an improbable amount of equal.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, everyone wants equity to the point where it's like, he has to marry a 42-year-old who also was in Marvel movies, who makes exactly the same amount of money as him, grew up in the same region, because what if they move someplace warm and he's from someplace warm, but she's from someplace cold? She'll have to figure out how to live there. Like, they can logic their way. It's a power imbalance in the place they move to. That type of over-intellectualization of two people's choices. And to be fair, we do that here on other topics, usually more to do with general Hollywood stuff, but it does happen. And for these people, it's just they want them to be. They would rather they show up and be degenerate than get married and have kids. It does seem like there's always some type of critique of that. Yet all at the same time, I think like people are always very pumped that Keanu Reeves married like a very, down to earth, normal looking woman who's his age. And like, they always point that out. Like it's this big deal. It's like, yeah, but it wouldn't be any worse if he married a woman that was 50.
Who was that?
Keanu Reeves.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Or Pierce Brosnan.
Oh wait, I think I've looked up a picture of them together. They're just a similar age.
Yeah,
and he has a beard that hides his wrinkles.
Yeah.
And then Pierce Brosnan is with
wife,
a woman who has gained weight over
the
the years by having children and whatever. And I mean, that's just not something you really see in Hollywood, but is totally normal for the rest of society.
Yeah, he's like, but they always pat him on the back for it. They're like, look at him, he didn't just divorce her because she put on some weight.
Amazing.
It's like the Chris Rock skit. What do you want, a cookie? You did what you were supposed to do. You stayed with the person you were supposed to stay with, who you committed yourself to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, look, good for him. If it works out, it works out. Then I'm happy for him.
Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Like, he's 34, she's 27. Yeah. They got together when he was, what was he? He was, I guess she was 23, he was 30.
Yeah.
When they got married. Yeah. And people pointed to that as a red flag.
Why? Because he was
the power imbalance.
7 years.
The insanity. It's just like, you're the last person at the party. Like, did you not realize everyone else left? Like, this discourse is over. It's done. Like, you're not, it's just, there are people in Gen Z who are called Puritans, because they have a lot of like bizarre legalistic ideas about how sex and relationships ought to work, despite having statistically having very little experience with them.
Yeah.
And also on the other extreme end, being super like excessively open about their most like debaucherous kinks that they have on social media, like with their face showing.
I did say my age wrong, by the way. They're saying like Brett said 38, but he's 37. I'm 37.
I wasn't gonna fact check you.
I'm 37, not 38. Also there is like a tinge of like dickheadedness in pointing out the age amounts, because they're basically saying that he's creepy for doing it. They're implying without implying.
As if it took any convincing for him to
be creepy.
For him to like find a woman who would want to be with him. I mean, I wouldn't date someone like Chris Evans because he, as you said, is a woke-tard, but he would not have any trouble finding a wife or girlfriend or hookup at all.
Nope.
For shallow reasons. And hopefully they're together for not so shallow reasons. It seems like they're in it for the long haul.
I don't know, man. Like I said, his annoyingness has bled out my desire to defend him. As far as I'm concerned, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
True.
The people insulting him are absolutely 110% the audience him and his annoying lot of douche canoes have courted.
Yeah, the
So
people crying
he's
about
got
Chris
what's coming to
Evans and
him.
his age gap are the same people who agree with him about 99.999%.
They're like his age gap is too much of a problem, but the guy's got a good concept on climate change, so I'll let it pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the people who you've got coming to you when you want an audience full of weirdo Tumblrites who have weird ideas.
By the way, I wasn't aware that Sexiest Woman Alive was a thing.
Sexiest Woman Alive has existed since as long as FHM, Stuff Magazine, and all these things. There was always
Were these like mainstream magazines or were they porn magazines?
No, these were mainstream men's magazines, meaning that
And they voted for actresses and stuff?
Yes, go look up every hot woman from the mid 2000s. It's like number 42 on FHM's Hot 100 list this year. Number 20, like every actress.
Okay.
I bet you if you looked up, let me just think of I bet you Jessica Alba, if you looked up Jessica Alba's IMDb, she was number 1 on hottest women's list at least 1 year or in the top 5. Those were a big thing before our culture got super puritanical, and suddenly women being beautiful was a problem, and all of these magazines came out as the
People's Sexiest Man Alive list is kind of a joke anyway because they just pick the worst possible people. Like Chris Evans, John Legend was there at some point, and this year it was Adam Levine. That's unfortunate timing.
This year?
Yeah.
Like, even though he's cheating on his wife and stuff?
Yeah.
Did Armie Hammer ever win?
The cheating scandal was only the year before. I guess everyone forgot about that.
Yeah, like if you look up all the Maxim
Adam
stuff,
Levine is
FHM, all those magazines had Hot 100 lists where all the women were hot actresses and models and singers, and that was a big thing. We celebrated beauty in our culture back then. Was it shallow? Yes. Was it awesome? Also, yes. And that's fine. Like, I don't need to know that, on her grave, of all the people that have ever liked an Angelina Jolie movie, I can tell you exactly what % of them give a crap where she adopted her kids from or what charity she donated to.
No.
Exactly 0%. Everybody else cared that she looked super sexy when she made her movies and was a good actress. That's what they cared about. Sorry, that's what matters. It's a visual industry. That's just the way things are. And they've now gotten away from that. And they actually think that you're going to celebrate. It's she won Woman of the Year. He won Man of the Year. Well, the men are still celebrated for being hot. The women are now celebrated for being activists.
Yeah.
So it's all lame and stupid. And Chris Evans has got what's coming to him. So I guess, you know what? Maybe they're right.
Worst Hollywood Chris.
Maybe he is a creepy predator looking for an age power gap. Who am I to deny the wisdom and truth of all of the loser fans he's courted over the years?
There's no shortage of women who are 18 to 25 who would easily be the creeped upon in that dynamic.
I love the idea that they've just forgotten that women in their mid-20s have historically liked older men for as long as history has existed. That's not a new thing. Men value beauty, women value not all women, that valuing resources because you can provide a woman with safety and security as if that wasn't a thing forever. Come on.
If Chris Evans were her own age, do you think that she still would have dated him?
No, because he'd only be on Captain America 1 right now. No, he wouldn't. He'd be on Fantastic Four, and nobody liked him in Fantastic Four. Okay, that's not necessarily true. But the point is, Chris Evans as Captain America, desirable. Chris Evans as in Fantastic Four, not so much. Not so much. No.
Okay.
All right, let's go super chats.
Waffle Sensei said, "Don't worry, Brett. I will do some research and find out who it was in that Paris Hilton video. I got you, fam."
Hey, man, do all the research you got to do. I understand. You got to double check on these things.
Yurishima Otaru said, "Elon Musk and the Joker is the real Joaquin sequel."
Yeah. We could get to Elon. Maybe can Elon Musk sing? Maybe him and what's her name can do a movie together.
Amber Heard?
No. The Lady Gaga.
Could Amber Heard have played a good Harley Quinn? I think she would do a good job.
No.
She's crazy though.
No.
It would be like method acting.
No, she doesn't know how to. She's not that good. She like it'd be really great because what would happen is they'd have to pretend like they weren't filming her between takes, and then so she'd be doing the scene and she'd be like, "Hey there, Mr. J," and they'd be like, "Oh God, it's so wooden," and then be like, "Amber, you smell." And like they'd have to make fun of her, and she'd go nuts while they were pretending that they weren't rolling, and then they just use the takes they filmed.
They start like wafting Dior Sauvage through the filming set.
They're like Johnny
just
Depp
like
is a better
it's an
actor
Abercrombie and Fitch in 2004. Valley Law said, "Let's get Mandy Summers on PCC. Hail chat."
Yo, we can reach out to Mandy Summers. She's
I'm sorry, who's
that? She does a show with Shane Davis.
Oh, okay.
She's Comicsgate.
Okay.
We can do that. We can talk to her. Let's do one more and then we will move on.
Ryan the Eating Warrior said, "That's all women."
Yeah, that was all women are the same, ladies and gentlemen. There's no statistical difference in any way between any of the women in the world today. They're all basically just the same person when it all comes down to it.
Speaking of clones,
men, unique snowflakes. None the same. Women, they're all basically clones off a factory line that you get on OnlyFans. We know this because of this woman.
Yes.
Her name, what's her name? It's
Sika Moon.
Sika Moon.
Yes, Sika Moon is an Instagram model. Okay, so she's decided to swap out all of her Instagram posts for an AI digital copy of herself.
This lady is playing 4D chess.
She's calling it art. She's calling this her artistic outlet.
Let me put a picture of it so you can see the length of the art. It's I support this 110%. Get your bag, queen, as they say.
I mean, it's kind of a misleading headline, though, because she actually started out her career being in porn, which she tastefully calls adult entertainment, and she thinks the easy way out is to simply post, facsimile of herself out into the world.
She's very
rather
smart.
than go through the effort of still putting herself out there. It's easier to make money off of computer-generated images than go through the lighting and get your makeup done and get your hair done and have the outfits and get the brand deals and go to the exotic locations and have the photographers and the editors and the face tuning and all of that stuff. It's easier to put yourself through an artificial intelligence engine.
She's smart. She's being unbelievable. First of all, I will take the side that, look, as long as men are willing to pay for it, these women doing this should not bother. I mean, I get why it bothers you, but I'm saying that the average person, they're using men. Yeah, and men are letting themselves be used.
I wouldn't even say that they're using men. I mean,
they're
not
capitalizing.
I mean, there's always going to be a portion of the population that's going to pay for things like this.
Yeah, it's always
weird as it
there.
is.
It's always going to be a thing.
And they're paying for the illusion of having a one-on-one conversation with her because she sells a chatbot version of her.
Guys, I'm gonna start my own chat bot where you can chat with me. And
But she kind of
I'll
denies...
yell about movies, and the whole chat bot will be you asking questions and me telling you why the USA Network was the greatest television network ever made, and that's every chat.
Brett, unfortunately,
$9.99 a month.
These chat bots are a little bit more salacious in
I can do
nature
that too. Look, I can do
than
it in breathy tones. That's fine.
She said, "I decided to get back to creating art and got fascinated by the potential of AI-supported creation. So I recreated myself with the help of AI tools to be the girl I always dreamed to be. Perfect, forever young, and smoking sexy every minute of the day. Smart, but with my personality." She has a virtual clone based on her real face and body and calls it a part of herself. "She's a part of me and I love her. My fans know she's like me and there's no agency, chatbot, or random nerd chatting." It is literally a chatbot though.
Yeah.
So you're kind of lying there. It is a chatbot. And I mean, thankfully you can know that it's not Bangladeshi precarity worker talking to you on the other end of the screen.
Yep.
That's slightly better than just messaging, like sexting with a guy.
In the chat, somebody says, okay, but your chat bot has to be Brett with no glasses. Well, yes. I would never, I don't give you, like, if you're doing a Superman chat bot, you don't give them Clark Kent. You give them Superman chat bot. So I would take the glasses off very slowly.
Another thing that's weird about this is she and her sister do the same thing.
What's her sister's name? Sakura Sun?
I feel like they're both fake names.
You think? You think?
They're from Germany, and I don't think that in Germany it's very common to be named Sika or Schuyler.
I love it.
I don't really buy that.
Look, this it's just
and it's
weird
just sad to be like, oh, this is my alter ego who's perfect because I hate myself. Like that's really
I don't think they hate
seemingly the motivation.
I don't think they hate themselves. I think they're business ladies. I think they're business women that see this as a way to make money. I don't think you could make the argument like maybe they're in denial. I don't think so. I don't think society, we are in this space more puritanical in our discussions than a lot of general society today. If there's self-loathing there, I don't think it's aware to them. I don't think it's there. I don't think
that I am puritanical. I think that if men are looking for connection with a woman, they should look for real connection. And you know what? People make this this quippy line that's like, why would you pay for an OnlyFans? Why would you pay for an AI chatbot? Why would you pay for this when porn is already for free on the internet? And I have news for you. Sex with real women is free if they actually like you.
That is not true. That is not true. No. It still costs money.
So you pay for it.
It's still
You're admitting that live on air.
Somebody has to drive somewhere. Somebody has to buy a condom.
No, it's not.
Money is still
not
spent.
Free of effort.
You're gonna have to buy. You're gonna have to buy her dinner.
What I'm saying is,
it is not a free exchange in any sense of the word ever. In any case, even when you're doing that on the internet, you're paying for your internet connection.
I'm not proposing casual sex as a viable alternative to this either.
Sex is not ever free. Never free. Not entirely. There's at least some exchange. Meaning, like whether we're talking time, travel, going out to dinner, it's not just like you call someone and then they magically appear there. Like these dudes are paying for the convenience, the lack of connection, and in a lot of cases they have given up, or they don't think about it. Like I would be interested to know. More interesting to me would be like the percentage of the men that do it that are also like in relationships or sexually active, right?
Probably few.
I bet you it's higher than you'd imagine. I think that I bet you, like, if you looked into those numbers, a good amount of them, it's not like they haven't had sex in the last year or something like that. I bet you it's just,
statistically, there's a lot of that though.
In society
there's
now,
a lot of long-term celibacy men in society right now.
But there's also like a lot of men who just like, look, it's casual sex. Women have an easier time with casual sex than men, meaning like
women don't want casual sex.
A guy could, in today's society, I think maybe they don't want it, but it's plenty common. And I think that there's a lot of men who their needs don't keep up with what's going on in the real world, and they supplement with stuff like this. I bet you it happens.
To clarify, what I mean when I say women don't want casual sex is that they don't want casual sex in and of itself. When men are after casual sex, it's the sex in and of itself that they're seeking. And women are going after that because it's the things they think they get out of it that reward them. Like a fake feeling of connection, a fake feeling of desirability and attention from a man.
I just don't know. I believe that heart, like that's something that people still want, but I just think so much of society. Oh, there's a $20 one there from Francisco Sanchez Jr.
He said, yesterday on X, I saw posts of women celebrating 9/11 with sails. One was a woman with a photo of an airplane and her cleavage. Yes, we covered that at the beginning of the show.
Hold on, my friend.
Another one
priced
right
for
here? Sale at $9.11.
Yep.
Yeah, we're entering the bottom of the toilet flush here. Yep. And if you didn't need any more evidence, the AI models are here to stay.
Oh yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like these pictures, I love the impossible lighting. That's my favorite part.
They're like taking pictures, like fake pictures of them with their AI girlfriends in the club.
Yeah.
in like a fake AI generated nightclub setting with studio lighting.
I love it. It's like all dark everywhere, but all of them are perfectly gold, like as if golden hour just hit them and nobody else in the area.
I guess this is the ceiling of where like AI can reach in terms of making things believable, like realistic.
Oh no!
looking.
Once we get like hassle-free VR.
But like maybe that's not the point of the AI, to make things realistic. Like maybe keeping the elements of it that is still fake is part of its appeal.
No, I mean, I think to an extent maybe, but I think most of it is like people are so used to facsimile connection with other human beings now that they're being conditioned to be okay with this. When you talk to someone on the computer, it's still not the same thing as talking to someone in person. We've been doing this now for so many years that why wouldn't the human brain suddenly shift to be okay with like facsimile romantic connection? Like, I guess people have been kind of like conditioned into it slowly over time.
So, would you say that the real pictures of this woman are more or less attractive than the fake pictures?
More attractive, by far.
Well, then what is the point of this?
I think that for a lot of these people, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, and there could be some here that could be fetishist. I don't know, but it's interesting. But she's worked out a business model where she can do quantity without
quality,
without the time. Right? No, like where the pictures are still quality, it's just shifted the perspective of what quality is.
Also, all of the pictures look like a different person. She claims that this is her. Like
here's a video, guy. Here's a video of
all
her.
of them. All the posts look like a different person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't think we were gonna get a party today.
It's party time.
Thank you. It's like this is the only one where it looked even semi-real. The rest of it all is very clearly like
I don't know, like that.
That or the second one that one doesn't feel real to me. They don't feel real.
Also, where is the money coming from? Is it just the OnlyFans, or does she get brand deals?
Brand
for her
deals,
AI
that's
clone?
and it would be a separate app to do it with that. So it's crazy. Like that, none of it feels.
Also, like she has a different body type in every post. In one, she'll have like defined abs, and in another, she'll be super skinny, and in another, she'll look like she's more curvy. Like it's a different person every time she posts.
And another way that we've programmed ourselves to be okay with this is the amount of filters that people put on their videos now. So like I see beautiful women that I know in real life who use filters on their videos that they don't.
I don't like them because I don't think they look good. I legitimately don't think they make you look better than you do in real life.
Yeah. Like I've seen women that I know that I would
blurring the lines between what is an AI woman and what's a real woman.
There's like, what is the one filter that they all use? It's like faint. It's like sunshine
like
or something like that.
glowy.
And it just makes their skin like a matted orange. And it smooths out every wrinkle that you could possibly have. But you know what? Imperfections are part of what make us connect with other people. And sure, that's great for our own personal insecurities, but it's not so great if you're trying to make help other people see you as the person you are, not as this filter. Now, if these are people that are never going to see you in the real world, sure. But I wonder what it's like for people who are in a relationship. Like, well, what if you're like somebody who lives, like you work, I'm trying to think, like you travel a lot for work. So you see your wife or your husband a lot through FaceTime or something like that. And you don't see them every single day. And you get used to seeing them with these filters on. And then you come home and you see them and it's shocking in a way. Mm-hmm. I don't know how healthy that is.
I don't really get that when people put filters on their photos on dating apps.
Why would you do that?
You know that if any of these matches end up in real life dates, they are going to see the real you. So what is the point of the ruse in the first place? Like they're going to decide whether they think you're attractive for how you really look eventually. Why not just avoid dropping a grenade on them and just show people what you really look like?
The thing is, the women do that and then they get mad when they see
like
them and they're like,
you're deluding yourself. You're really deluding yourself. It's just unfortunate that nobody really like sees themselves for for what they really are now.
Yeah. And as a guy,
the filters trick people into thinking they actually look like
guys just should never put filters on their photos as on principle. You just don't be lame.
Deceptive angles on dating apps. This is something I've heard about.
This has been around, Mary, since long before you had social media.
That hide that you're fat. I feel like everyone can clock that by now.
Yes.
It's 2023. We've been around the block on the internet. Like, you can't hide that stuff that easily.
The MySpace days.
I mean, I think
if I only
the MySpace
see the top
angle
corner here of your face, you're hiding something.
The MySpace angle is flattering for most people, but you just shouldn't use it to hide the fact that you're
fat
whale.
Exactly.
There was really no point.
But there's
to this
also
discussion,
the funny is like and then guys don't learn. Have you ever seen the meme where it's like every divorced 40-year-old guy in a dating app, and it's like this. It's like low.
It's like weirdly bad.
He doesn't. It's like he purposely doesn't do anything to make himself look better because
you appreciate the honesty.
Yes, you're just like, or it's like, what's the meme? It's like there's a picture of a guy. It's like and he's taking that photo in his car, and it says like, you know, they're like, the photo would be better with a smile, and he goes, what do I have to smile about? It's like sometimes you get. I was talking to them downstairs today. I said, like, there's the thing, like, you can get the bites that you have that force your face into a smile because it like trains your brain to like if you smile even when you're not happy, you can trick your brain into thinking you're happier than you are.
I always thought that was an old wives' tale.
Who knows, man? I'm just saying, like, better if you're depressed, why not try? Give it a shot.
I want to avoid the smile lines for as long as I can, Brett.
Oh, I'm gonna, yeah. When I smile, I age.
I already have chubby chipmunk cheeks. Doesn't help.
It's your cheeks are lovely. They're fine.
Thanks.
They're fine. Let's go to Super Chats.
Like the whole point of that discussion was just like the world's going to shit. Anyways,
I'm saying that these women are beautifully smart capitalists that are making.
If
a ton
only
of money.
they could channel that into something more constructive for society.
Go ahead and make your money, ladies. That's not your job. Let Elon Musk figure that shit out. You make your money with the AI chatbot.
Gordon Shumway said Chrissy Bixler is the epitome of hell hath no fury. Disco Jensen said, what are the thoughts on Back to the Future Part 4? I saw the trailer and felt pretty apathetic about it. What do the kids think of it? I'm curious.
Is there a trailer?
Oh, they said never mind, it was a deep fake mashup.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
But if it were real, it would be bad.
Yep.
Johnny Scab said Amber Heard is slang for turd now in the UK. He just dropped a fat Amber Heard in the portaloo over there.
I love it.
In the car park.
No, it'd be the loo.
In the loo.
In the portable loo.
Yeah. Ryan, the Eating Warrior, said it's just weirdos being weirdos. A lot of odd people don't like seeing celebs being in a relationship, so they nitpick because in their weirdo brains they think they have a chance with the celeb.
That's the other thing. It's like there's nothing weirder than people who are really into like. This is totally rude, but like it's weirder when it's the opposite way. Then they're like, this couple is everything. Oh my god, they're so cute together. It's the Johnny Depp with the cord for what's her name in the video,
Camille Vasquez.
Yeah,
he like moved her phone charger into another position, and people are like, he's such a gentleman.
Like they're all weird.
And
it's all
people's reactions
and we're weird for judging the people that are weird. Everyone's weird.
It's their reaction to Zendaya and Tom Holland as well. And that's why so many people were mad about Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah,
because it turns out he's into women who are conventionally attractive and
how dare he?
Art hose. Did I mention Carnell? Carnell sent $5 without a message.
Thank you, Carnell.
Thank you. Sorry if I didn't mention that. Sorenko Productions said Brett should be the new Harley Quinn. LOL.
That is me. Did we get Ryan the Eating Warrior?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the last one. Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, why would I need a chatbot for you? I get the real thing on Twix. LOL.
That is true. I mean, I can do both, but yeah, the premium version will be different. It'll be a voice version, not a AI, not a typed version. You pay for the intimacy of the voice version of me talking about how great the USA Network was in 2010 and how
it's abhorrent, it's disgusting, and it should be a crime.
What were they saying about the lady who's running for office? It was like Virginia Democrat political hopeful had Chatterbait profile, having sex with her husband and asking for tips. And all the memes, it was all the Always Sunny memes that were like, that's disgusting. Where?
ESO said unrelated, but everyone should drink Cass Brew coffee. Pumpkin spice is 10 out of 10, and I still can't believe Mr. Bocus made that blend all by himself.
Well, he is a genius. Is
this
not?
Tim's alt account?
I love the idea that Tim has alt accounts.
Making us do brand deals for Cass Brew without us knowing. Ryan the Eating Warrior said AI model pimps on the rise in the near future.
Oh,
well, that's the upside, right? Is that they don't need pimps.
They get to be their own pimps. They'll be fine on their own. That's it's freedom for them. No, unless you're Andrew Tate.
Right.
Unless you're Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel? If you have not done so already, we did pass, I think we mentioned yesterday, we passed 70,000 subscribers over the weekend. Thank you very much for all that, guys. We appreciate you being here. Mary, let everyone know where they can find you.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on Twix. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Pop Culture Crisis is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you would like to listen to the audio version of this show, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Pandora, Spotify, wherever fine podcasts are sold. If you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We'll be back with another poll. I forgot the poll, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Just to see what everybody was thinking. Would they go see an Oliver Anthony show? Yes, they would, because they said 39% say $50 or less, 34% say $50 to $100, 14% say $150 or more, and 11% say $100 to $150. There we go. What did you vote for?
I voted the most because I would.
You would? And that's just like Lana Del Rey?
Lana. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. There's the poll. There's everything. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. Thanks for joining. See you then, guys.
Bye.
Later. Stay tuned for my automated chat bot.